All right, hello. A couple of you requested that I don't spoil anything before I show you guys. So this is the result of the craft that I did a couple days ago. We spent 3 days in a row trying to have a successful graveyard craft. And this is the final craft that I was going to do for my Frostblink Ignite Elementalist. So I'll just let this play out. You guys can enjoy it without any spoilers. And I will just sit back and watch. Scepter.
We did Opal last
we're
time. 150%
at the right part. Okay.
chance of gem modifiers.
Go.
May the shine of Solaris burn away your anguish and aid this soldier and become a
lot of
weapon
praying
to
in chat
crush
here.
the unjust.
Okay. Usable. I love that. I was blocking
Very usable.
the result with the chat there the whole time.
Okay.
But yeah. So let me see if I get this a little bit more visible. There we go. So this is actually what we ended up with. We did get a +1 cold, +1 all with T1 cold damage, T1 crit chance to spells, etc., etc. If you saw the video yesterday, you already know. This is a very, very good scepter for the build. I was very happy with this. And yeah, we got something really good. However, let's zoom forward here a little bit.
Trickiest.
And then we look at the other one. This is the second one that we made. And this is with the exact same recipe. And you'll notice this thing is absolute trash. It hit cold dot multi and it hit double stun modifiers, which, you know, as you all know, are absolute trash. What happened and why did I get a good result and why did I get such a bad result? So the most important thing that I want to call out here is that when you do a craft right now, you know, in crafting in general, right? There is nothing that is 100% deterministic. Even if you stack every single corpse in the entire graveyard for just one thing, you won't have a 100% confidence rating that you're going to get exactly what you want. Best case, you're going to be at like 96 to 99%. And even with that, the dice can just be against you and it can feel really, really awful. And in fact, my biggest recommendation, if you are doing the planning here for the craft, is just click this generate sample item a lot and tweak these modifiers. You go to Craft of Exile, you go to Graveyard, you tell it to compute best selection based on the modifiers that you clicked on and you selected, and then just click generate sample item here a lot and try to get a feel for what you're expecting to get out of the result. And really the way that you're going to end up with a recipe that fits your preferences to be the best outcome is to just sit here and generate the sample item until you get a feel for what your outcomes are going to be. And so what I had ended up doing before my scepter craft was just click this a lot, looking at how often I was getting attack modifiers, lightning modifiers, physical modifiers, and I just used Craft of Exile's suggestion as just that, a suggestion. And then I modified the recipe, tweaked it for my own tastes for something that was more likely to be safer for what I was happy with. So you'll notice that I didn't even run any minus cold in my modifiers right here. Because for my build, I'm actually okay with cold modifiers as well as fire modifiers. It's kind of a wash for what the outcome is for my build, so I don't mind that whatsoever. However, the most important thing that you really do care about, and I just want to emphasize this a lot, is this, the chance to craft an additional item. You'll see that the actual price, these are obviously people that are not selling, but the actual price of these right now is about 200 chaos. It is a pretty rare corpse, but it is, I think, absolutely necessary to get an outcome that you're happy with. You are going to spend a minimum of 3 to 5 hours setting up your graveyard, trading for it, and honestly, probably more than that, as well as probably 5 to 10 divines buying those corpses, unless you're solo self-found farming them yourself. However, especially in SSF, I would strongly recommend waiting until you get a couple of these corpses for setting up your craft. So what these do is they give you a chance to craft an additional item at 20% chance. So by default, you would need 5 of these to guarantee that you're going to get 2 items out of the craft. What it does is it does the same craft 2 different times with the exact same recipe. And because it's a random outcome, you get 2 chances to get an item that you care about, or 2 chances to get 2 items that are good and you can sell one for profit, which is the better outcome, of course. So with the 20% chance to craft an additional item, by default, you would think that you need to buy 5 of these. That would be 800 plus chaos, which is over 5 divines, just to set up the chance for an additional item. But even if you are buying up to 5, I would strongly, strongly recommend that. However, we can do better than that. So this is sudos.help/PoE/graveyard. The Sudos guy has actually been working on this tool a lot, and he's improving it. It actually has a lot of features right now that he's adding very, very quickly for auto placement of graves and all that type of stuff. I really, really like it. There's a lot of competing tools out there, but this is the one that I've been using right now, and I really like it. Although it is a little slow on the loading. Downloading this gigantic icon pack, and he just needs to turn that off. I think everything else is fine. This is like the default optimized layout that people are going for. You want to get increased effective modifiers in a row or column in these exact slots. Then you see the strength of the modifiers for the corpses that you place in these other slots right here. So because we have row plus 25 and column plus 25, you'll see a 1.5 right here. So that 20%, if I put a corpse right here, would go to 30%. So just by putting a few corpses in this row and in these columns right here, we can use fewer corpses and save a lot of currency. This gets even better if you go to the left side. You want to take 40% increased effect modifiers and put them in these 3 slots right here. You also can put it up here for a 1.45 and then a 1.65 here because it's also affected by the row. Anyway, you can just look at the number. So when you're setting up your graveyard by default, you want to place the column, row, and increased effect of modifiers in these exact slots. And this is very fiddly. This is what I'm talking about. This only affects construct corpses. So you'll notice that there's a monster category. So when you're buying the additional corpse, you have to make sure that it is a construct corpse. You'll see there's beast, humanoid, construct, and demon. So there's all these different types. So you want to very specifically, if I'm going to buy all construct increased effects, I want to buy all construct monster category increased chance to craft an additional item. Just be very, very careful when you're buying all of these. So obviously this would be a nightmare in SSF to set up properly, but if you're buying the corpses in Trade League, pay very close attention to that. You'll see that you can get a 2.2x effect right here in this middle. So that 20% will go to 44% right here. All right, so I set it up for what you would want to do. So you can see that I have 355% chance to craft an additional item. And if you have it set up just like this, the 40% is right here, and then all of the ad crafts that are adjacent to it, you'll get 355% chance. So I know you only need 100% chance for 2 items, but people have told me that you need 251 and 351 for 3 and 4 items. I'm not sure exactly why that's the case. I'm assuming that's a rounding error or just, you know, one of the funky ways that numbers work in PoE. But yeah, with the 355% additional item right here, this would give us 4 items on the outcome of our craft. And then we have all the remaining slots right here for our increase and reduce modifiers for setting up our craft. I also want to call it a very special warning. Do not use this unless you very much know what you're doing. The ones that say create a split copy, or even the ones that say corrupt, I guess a warning for this one as well. The ones that say corrupt, this will corrupt your item. It's like a vol orb. It's not just, hey, the item comes out corrupted with the rolls that you want. It will actually just use a vol orb on your item. But for the split copy, it doesn't make a split copy. I actually really, really don't like the wording here that GGG chose. It says chance to create a split copy. That's not what it does. I actually think this is incorrect wording. What it does is it splits your item after it crafts it. So you could have your perfect item, and this has happened to a couple of friends of mine, is you could have your perfect item that you set it up perfectly, and you think, oh, I'm going to make a split copy of it. It comes with the split tag. Okay, I get it. But what it does is it takes your perfect item and it splits it, and you're going to get half the mods on one and half the mods on the other. So yeah, unless you really know what you're doing and you're trying to make crafting bases, stay away from this one. This one is very dangerous as well. Be careful with that. And with the additional corpse, this is the most important thing, because a craft does not have a 100% chance to give you the outcome that you want. Just getting multiple dice rolls on that, or at least giving yourself multiple chances for a good item that you actually care about after you spend hours and hours and divines trying to set it up. It will save you from a lot of heartbreak. Anyway, I am very happy that I finally hit an item. I actually ended up crafting it up a little bit after this, and I ended up with something really, really cool. I'm so happy that the journey with the graveyard for crafting for this build is done. I am totally done with this build. Check out the video yesterday if you want to get the final download on what I ended up with. It's in a great state. I'm happy with it. And today on stream, right after I post this video, I'm going to be going live and leveling a new character. So I'm very excited for that. We have a couple ideas for where it's going to go. I'm not 100% exactly what it's going to end up with, but I'm very excited to move on from my League starter and try something new. So that is it for me. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys on stream in a little bit. All right, goodbye.